Hey guys, Newb here. Today I'm bringing you another top 10 video, and this is my personal favorite top 10 Batman villains. Now, I honestly believe that the reason I like Batman is not really for Batman, but for the villains and other characters in the Batman series. And I always tend to gravitate more towards the DC villains and the Marvel heroes. It's just always been that way. So, let's go ahead and do this. Number 10 is Mr. Freeze. I wasn't really big on Mr. Freeze in the animated series. However, I liked the animated movie that was based around Mr. Freeze and his storyline. But I really liked Mr. Freeze after playing the Arkham games and watching the storyline for that. Also, there's something that, even if it was not considered one of the greatest moments in Batman history, it was part of my childhood, and so it's gonna come up right now, and that is the portrayal of Mr. Freeze by Arnold Schwarzenegger will forever be in my mind. Number 9, Baby Doll. Baby Doll is a creepy villain. She is a psychotic woman. Yes, woman. Who is an actress, and her manager seems to be quite psychotic as well. And Baby Doll is in her 20s. She looks like she's 5, and she uses her childlike appearances to persuade everyone around her, whether it be for criminal reasons or just landing a role in a movie or whatnot. Number 8, and yes, I am so sorry I'm putting this person so low on the list, the Joker. I really like the Joker, and so many things about the Joker. I tend to gravitate more towards Joker from the Arkham games, and especially Joker from the animated series. But I think I like Joker because he is kind of the figurehead of the villains. Very much so, like Batman's the figurehead for the Batman universe in Gotham. It's like I like Batman and I like Joker, but I like the things that they kind of create, or the chaos that they've created. Number 7, Poison Ivy. I have liked Poison Ivy for a really long time, starting with the animated series, and I find her to be one of the more... She has an interesting set of skills, I guess. Her communication with plants is something that any green thumb would definitely want, and I'm not one of those. So, can I please hire a gardener? Excuse me, please. Anyway, she is a very attractive DC villain, or villain in general. I really liked her in the Arkham games and the animated series. Those are my two main points of reference. However, in Batman Forever, she was one of the villains in that, and I wasn't too much of a fan of her role. So yeah. Number 6, Phantasm. Phantasm is a villain that is not used very often in Batman anymore. Like, I don't know if she's ever really been used outside of the animated series, but I absolutely loved the Phantasm animated movie that they had done based around that storyline, and she became one of my favorite villains for Batman at that point in time. and especially when I went and rewatched it when I was older, so I understood the storyline more. Number 5 is Mad Hatter. Now, Mad Hatter is another character that I would love for them to use more of, but he has made appearances since the original live-action series. He was in at least a couple episodes of the original live-action series, a couple episodes of the animated series, which is what I know him from most, but he also has been in a lot of side missions for the Arkham games. And I like the character a lot, and I love the way they portrayed him in the Arkham games, and the way, like, the sequence where Batman went completely psychotic with the bunny ears and everything. I also like Alice in Wonderland, so it just ties in. Number 4 is Red Hood. Now, Red Hood is almost more of a vigilante or a hero gone villain, which happens. And I loved the animated movie Under the Red Hood. It was fantastic. I love so many things about that movie, and I have watched it so many times. If you don't know this, sorry, spoilers, but the Red Hood is actually Jason Todd, the second Robin, or pretty much the second Robin, second, third, whatever. And the story takes place after he was killed and then resurrected, and he's kind of become this crazy assassin. And I am a huge fan of all the Robins because it's more of, I don't know, I love seeing their story progress as time goes on. Because there's Nightwing, and then there's Red Hood, and then you have Batman's son. So yeah, it's fun seeing time progress by a lot over the entire series. Number 3 is Scarecrow. Now, I was not too keen on Scarecrow in the animated series, at least not that I can remember. But I love Scarecrow in the Arkham games and in the Dark Knight series, or the first in Batman Begins, right? Yeah, the Arkham series, or the Dark Knight series. Anyway, when it showed him as more of a psychiatrist that was doing his own thing and showing what his abilities really were, I'm sure the animated series showed that, but I didn't understand it when I was younger. But the like psychosis gases or hypnotic gases or whatever they are kind of creepy, especially when you think about it. They kind of show your biggest fears, and just think about that for a moment. Number 2 is Riddler. The Riddler is awesome. I have always loved the Riddler. He is everywhere. You're doing like little side quests for him the entire game. You don't run into him often, but you are in contact with him constantly. And he's always a villain that's just kind of hovering in the background throughout Batman in general. And it's a lot of fun. He is just a genuinely curious villain. And honorable mention. That. Yes, that. The shark in Arkham City, the game. Terrified the crap out of me. Didn't know that was going to happen. I have a fear of water in video games. The shark pops out. Scariest thing ever. One of the worst Batman villains ever. Except Batman totally just punched it in the nose and everything was fine. But I had to throw the controller and make somebody else press the button for me. Number 1 is Harley Quinn. I mean, it's obvious, right? I have so many things that are Harley Quinn around the house. And I think Harley Quinn is so much more than a sidekick to Joker. Harley Quinn is almost more psychotic than Joker half the time, which is amazing. She's an extremely attractive villain. Love her to death. Think she's one of the coolest things in the world. And she was a psychiatrist that fell in love with a criminally insane guy, and she's completely hopelessly romantic and is trying to win his love, and he's basically just using her for her gymnastic skills and craziness, and it's a good old time. And I think she deserves so much more. But anyway, so that's my top 10 Batman villains. Thank you guys for watching. It got rambly and crazy, but oh well. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.